I am Professor Philip Pecorino. In this chapter we deal with an interesting question come to be known as the mind-body problem. Most people think they have a body and a mind and it's not much of a problem at all. But philosophers who have examined it very carefully see that a problem arises when people consider that they have a body which is physical, extended in time and space, and has elements that can be measured, weighed, contacted through the senses, and the mind that is different from that, a mind that's made up of no substance that occupies space. It's not made up of matter. That the mind and the body somehow work as two closely related entities that have being, but different sorts of substances. One of a physical nature and the other of spiritual, non-physical nature. The problem then arises, how can two very different substances ever interact? Descartes gave the most clear expression in his writings in the middle of the 17th century, and since then philosophers have had to deal with this issue of the interrelation or interaction of two different kinds of substances. Different positions have been taken, and you will be introduced to them, and you'll be asked to consider all the alternatives and which you think is the one best defended by reasoning and evidence. There are those who continue to hold that there are these two different substances that interact in some manner and thus present the problem, and those that hold that everything is really just mind and there are no physical bodies. There are others who hold that there are just physical bodies and a brain, and what's been called the mind is simply the brain and how it's structured and functions, and language has to catch up with what contemporary science tells us. So there are a variety of positions. You will look at them all and hopefully enter into a philosophical process and dialectical reasoning and arrive at what you think is the best defended position on the mind-body problem.